Your voice reveals your leadership potential much before you start your pitch. Now imagine this. You walk into your office on Monday feeling just like another cog in the machine. But by Friday, you're the one commanding attention and respect from senior leadership. You walk into meetings and people don't just listen, they lean in. Your ideas don't just get heard, they get implemented. So, what's the secret? I always say it's not about working longer hours or maybe getting another certification. The real difference also isn't what you do, it's how you communicate. It's about learning to speak the language of leadership, which not many people know. And that's why in this video, I'm not going to give you any vague advice like be more confident and so on. I will give you 7 specific, concrete language shifts that will make you sound like a true executive, starting from your very next conversation. As a leadership coach, I've spent over a decade in the trenches with C-suite execs. And trust me, these shifts are what separate the high potential employees from the high impact leaders. So let's dive in. Shift number 1, shift from answering to framing. The first and most powerful shift is moving from just answering questions to strategically framing the conversation. Now, most employees are stuck in a reactive mode. A leader will ask, what's the status of project X? And the typical response is a tactical, step-by-step update. It's accurate, sure, but it's not an executive move. Here's why that's a problem. When you only give tactical update, you frame yourself as a task doer, someone who would just follow the plan. An executive is a strategic owner. They don't just see the task, they see its impact on the entire business. So let's run a scenario, okay? Instead of saying that we are about 75% done with the coding, we hit a snag with the database integration that set us back 2 days, but we sorted it out and should be back on track by Wednesday. Now try this executive approach. The strategic goal of Project X is to boost customer retention by 15% this year. We are right on track to meet our Q3 launch deadline, which is key to hitting that target. We ran into a minor database challenge this week, which my team already handled to make sure there's zero impact on the project's outcome. My focus remains locked on delivering that 15% uplift we planned. Now, can you feel the difference? The first response is all about activity. The second response is about outcomes. It kicks off with the why, ties the project to bigger business goals. It shows you can solve problems and ends with a confident focus on the result. You're not just reporting on the weather, you're steering the ship. This is how you prove you're thinking about what your leaders are thinking about. Shift number 2, share your key findings first. The single most valuable resource for any senior leader is their time. And the biggest mistake you can make is wasting it by burying the lead. So many people communicate chronologically. They will set the stage, they will walk you through their entire thought process, detail every data point, and finally, at the very end, reveal the point. Now, this drives executives absolutely crazy. Put your most important piece of information, your recommendation, your key finding in the very first sentence. Then you can fill in the supporting details. Here's what the mistake sounds like. Someone asks you about last quarter's marketing campaign and the rambling approach, right? So I looked into the sales data from last quarter. We launched that new marketing campaign back in June, and the initial results were a little slow. We had some issues with the spend allocation at first, but after we tweaked the targeting in early June, we really saw an uptick. The final numbers are, and you have already lost them. Now let's apply the shift. The new marketing campaign drove 20% increase in qualified leads last quarter, beating our goal by 5%. My recommendation is we double the budget for Q4 to scale this win. I have the full breakdown and ROI analysis right here if you want to get into the details. See how that works. It's clear, it's direct, it respects their time. You instantly give them the bottom line and what to do about it. This shows you can cut through the noise and deliver a clear, actionable insight, a core trait of executive thinking. Shift number 3. Propose solutions, not just problems. One of the fastest way to get sidelined is to become known as the office problem spotter. Look, anyone can point out that there's something on fire. Leaders are the ones who show up with a fire extinguisher, right? The problem is when someone says, we are going to miss our deadline. The vendor is late, so now we are stuck. Now that kind of language shows, actually it screams helplessness. It dumps the entire problem back to your boss to solve. The executive move is to always pair a problem with potential solutions. A fantastic technique is give options. When you find a challenge, you proactively come up with 2 viable solutions to solve it. Let's try out a situation. Let's take the same vendor example, right? The vendor delay scenario. Now here's what you say. I've flagged a potential risk to our timeline because of a vendor delay. I've already mapped out a couple of options for us to think about. 1, we can bring in a backup vendor to do the work, which keeps us on schedule, but would need an extra 50,000 rupees. And the second one, we can shift some internal resources from low priority tasks that keeps us on schedule and on budget, but it would push back the start of our Q4 internal reports. Now, since our priority is launching on time, my recommendation is option 2. And I've already confirmed our team has the bandwidth. Try it out. It's a total game changer. You've gone from being a complainer to a strategic problem solver. And you've done the hard thinking, you've weighed the trade-offs, and you've even made a clear recommendation, making it incredibly easy for a leader to make a smart, fast decision. And if you're already seeing how these small shifts can have a massive impact on your career, do me a quick favor and hit that like button. It's a huge help to my channel, and it lets me know that you want me to make practical guides like this one. Okay, moving on to the next one. Shift number 4. Ask strategic questions. This one is so critical. The quality of your questions literally reveals the quality of your mind. Now, junior level employees tend to ask tactical how-to questions. Should I use this logo or that one? What font do I use for my presentation? These are more about execution. Executives, they ask strategic questions focused on the why and the what if. They use questions to pull the conversation up to a higher altitude and guide everyone's thinking forward towards the big picture. So the trap is asking questions that are too small. Instead of asking, did you approve the budget for me? Ask a strategic question like, how does this budget proposal track against our top 3 company priorities for the year? Or you can also ask, what's the main outcome we are trying to achieve with this money? And does this budget give us the best shot at getting there? See, questions like these prove you're not just thinking about your tiny slice of the pie, but you're thinking about the entire chessboard. You're connecting your daily tasks to the high level strategy, which makes you a strategic partner, not just an employee waiting for instructions. Shift number 5, speak with conviction. Okay, I have an assignment for you. Just listen to how you talk in your next meeting. Are you using weak words? These are those flimsy phrases we use to soften what we are trying to say. But all they do is destroy our credibility. I'm talking about language like, I kind of feel like, this is just my opinion, but, or maybe we should possibly consider, or I'm no expert here, but. I mean, what are these phrases? These phrases are confidence killers. They signal to everyone that you don't even back your own ideas. Why would they? The executive move is to speak with calm, clear conviction. This isn't about being arrogant or loud. It's about stating your analysis, your recommendations directly and professionally. It's about being assertive and owning your expertise. Let's look at the difference. Okay. So the weaker version can be, I'm just a little worried that the servers might not handle all the traffic on launch day. I kind of feel like maybe we should think about pushing the date. Now, this is the weaker version. Okay. Let's move on to the executive version. My analysis shows a significant risk of a server crash on launch day due to our capacity limits. I recommend we postpone the launch by a week to deploy more resources. This will guarantee a stable user experience and protect our brand's reputation. Correct? Now, the second statement is grounded in facts and ends with a firm, clear recommendation. You're not sharing a feeling, you're delivering a professional judgment. Let's move on to shift number 6, which is master the strategic pause. In a world that's obsessed with speed, we all feel the pressure to answer questions instantly. The impulse is just start talking because we are afraid that silence will make us look weak or like we don't know the answer. But here's the thing. Rushing often leads to rambling, unfocused answers. It signals panic, not control. An executive knows that silence isn't a void, it's a tool. The strategic pause is one of the most powerful communication techniques out there. I'm a firm believer and adapter of the strategic pause. I follow the stop technique, STOP. Whenever anyone asks you a question, S is for stop, T is for think, O is for organize your thoughts, and P is for proceed. Now, the pause gives you a moment to collect your thoughts and deliver a much smarter, structured answer. Second, it projects incredible confidence and composure. It tells everyone that you are not unfazed and you're giving the question the thoughtful consideration it deserves. A pause before you speak makes people lean in. A pause after you've made a key point gives it weight. It's a silent signal that says, I am in complete control here. You can Google Steve Jobs' 15-second pause. There was a question they asked him and he took like a 16-second pause. I'm sure he was practicing stop. And the last one, shift number 7, replace I with we. This final shift is subtle, but it's a huge indicator of leadership maturity, mastering how you use I versus we. The mistake is being imbalanced. Some people are always saying I, especially when things go well. I closed the deal. I finished the project. I did this. I did that. It can sound like you are a solo glory hog who doesn't appreciate the team. On the flip side, some people overuse we, especially when there's a failure or things go south. We miss the target. That can sound like you're dodging personal responsibility. Executives play the pronoun game with intention. They use I and we to build trust and to show accountability. So here's the simple rule that you can follow. Use we when you're celebrating success. It creates a sense of shared purpose and boosts morale. For example, we had an incredible quarter, and everyone on this team was critical in helping us smash that goal. And use I when you're taking ownership of a mistake or stating your personal conviction. So, example, I messed up the initial forecast. I've already put a new review process in place to make sure it won't happen again. That shows radical accountability, which builds massive trust. That deliberate shift between shared credit, which is we, and personal accountability, which is I, is the hallmark of a true leader. It proves you're a team player who also has the backbone to your own decisions and outcomes. All right, it's time for a rapid fire recap. 1. Frame the conversation around strategy, not tasks. 2. Share key findings first. 3. Bring solutions, not just problems. 4. Ask smart strategic questions. 5. Speak with conviction. 6. Use the strategic pause to own the room. And 7. Use we for wins and I for accountability. And you can pause the video and take a screenshot for easy reference. So here's your challenge. Pick just one of these 7 shifts, just one, and deliberately practice it this week in your next meeting, your next email, your next conversation. I promise you, you won't just sound different. You'll start to think differently. You'll be treated differently. And that is how you stop just having a job and start leading a career. This is episode 2, the Authority Voice, Speaking with Confidence of Executive Presence Mastery series. The next episode is Mastering Your Physical Appearance. To help you with that, stay tuned for episode 3, Body Language Secrets of Top Leaders. I'll see you in the next one.